Have you noticed something about fighters like Khabib Nurmagomedov, Makhachev and Khamzat Chimaev? They don't just take their opponents down, they control and smother them. Once these guys get on top, it feels like the opponent is slowly drowning under pressure. Today, I'm going to break down 3 things they do extremely well and how you can use the same ideas in your training. But before we get to the control, it all starts with getting the fight to the ground. All 3 of these fighters are excellent at takedowns. Khabib built his game around relentless chain wrestling, singles, doubles, and constant pressure against the cage. Islam mixes up wrestling with judo trips and throws, and Khamzat does either a double or a single leg and then transitions into standing back control. The takedown is only the beginning. What really makes these fighters special is what happens after the opponents hit the mat. Let's look at 3 things that they constantly do to keep the opponent stuck under pressure. The first position we're going to cover is side control, because they try to get to side control so they can finish their opponent. They can finish their opponent in many positions, but this one is special, at least for me. So the first thing they need to think about in side control is to keep their knee glued to the opponent's hip when he tries to shrimp and re-guard. That's the problem. To prevent that, we're gonna glue the knee to his hip. Okay. So it's glued. My knee is glued to his hip. The next is shoulder pressure. This is really important, and it turns his head towards one direction. It makes him uncomfortable. So you can do this by clasping the hands and doing this, but I prefer grabbing the lat, grabbing the shoulder, and this is what these guys do very well as well. Relax the shoulder, this is key. Put the shoulder, you can do it with one arm as well. Put the shoulder to his chest. The key detail is relax the shoulder, chest, and then into him. Exactly. That way, I turn his head there, making the bridge to the other side much harder. The next is the foot post. Here, if I don't foot post, he might be able to bridge me over to the other side if I'm not pressuring with my shoulder. So if my leg is somewhere behind me or like this, if I'm not posting with the foot, this happens. Go. So instead, do it here. Put the foot here. So when he tries to bridge me over, I push into him. So I'm actively pushing into him. What I want to do the opposite of what he does. If he wants to push me there, I push back. If he wants to shrimp away from me and regard me, I follow. So everything he does, I do the opposite. And thus, suffocate him, like Khamzat, Khabib, and Islam do. The next very important concept in side control is weight distribution. I want to be heavy on him by using my body, not my arms. I don't want to like squeeze tight with my back muscles. No, I want to relax into him and make it hard for him to breathe. We do this by collapsing his near lung, like this. So you can see my weight is off the knees. It can be on my knees too, but what I'm doing is I'm collapsing his near lung. I can do this like this and alternate between the chest pressure, meaning collapsing his near lung, and shoulder pressure. I cannot do both at the same time, so I have to alternate and see when to do which. How to torture him in the best way possible. It's a nice setup for the crucifix, which I'll show you soon. If the arm sometimes the arm gets here inside control, which is what happened with Khabib and Michael Johnson. What they do is they take, Khabib does at least, he took a Kimura grip, switched his base, went over the head with the leg, and finished. One of the things he will do from here is to frame me, which makes it harder for me. Okay. Which makes it harder for me to control him here. So to prevent that, you should do this. Go. So you go forward with the head, because they either go around and frame, so they either go around and frame, or they go inside and frame from here. Either way, if you go forward with the head, you prevent that. You can also, wait. You can also do this with the shoulder, which will prevent him coming from my throat. If he goes through my throat, yeah, okay, go back. If I do this and go with the head here forward, it's gonna prevent that. But if he does manage to get the frame, here's what I do. Here's what I really like to do. He's here, he does frame me. What I do, is this. I change my base, I grab the shoulder, I put my shoulder here so I can grab the wrist, and I do an Americana. Switch base, pop the shoulder, grab the wrist, go down, and here I bring my knees close and finish the Kimura. Americana, sorry. These kinds of controls and submissions from side control are great, and you should definitely do them. But the main thing you should be concentrating on is punching from side control, and this is what those guys do, and they aim to get the crucifix, the holy grail of side control. And for many people, including me, ground and pound. So what they do is, from side control, they transition, they change the base and they want to punch. But if he blocks my biceps, I can do several things. I can pummel in, get here, climb higher, punch. If he starts moving his arms, I trap, bring it closer, and I come close to his neck and start punching. Because why towards his neck? It's because the bridge is weak here. Try to bridge, it's weak. Bridge and stay in the bridge. Up. Here, the bridge is weak where I'm at. If I were to be here, yes, I'm very unstable. I have good distance for punching here. But I'm very unstable because the bridge is very strong here. But if I'm here, try to bridge is very weak. I should both go bridge from time to time to maintain position, but he's not going anywhere. It's a very strong position. Another thing I can do is, if he blocks me here, I can use my hip, and if I can reach his head even better. So I can start using the power of my hip, if I can reach his head even better, and break his arm, not literally, but break the control of his arm with my hip here, and start punching. Then I grab the wrist, put it down, sorry. Triangle the legs and punch. The hip is very strong.
People try to solve this with arms always. Solve it with the hip. With the hip. Or another option is to go under here and then use the hip. Then I grab the wrist, put it down, sorry. Triangle the legs and punch. The hip is very strong.
A common position they find themselves in is back control or back mount. Whether it's with one hook or with both hooks, often near the cage. So what they do there is they go for the rear naked choke. They try the standard version. Get up, please. They try the standard version where they use both hands like this. And often they get it. Sometimes here, sometimes they sprawl out, go. Sometimes they sprawl their opponents out and they finish the choke. But it's not always possible to get the full rear naked choke like this. So what they do is they do, sometimes they do a version of a neck crank. So Conor did this to Khabib. He was basically pushing his jaw in. And he did this grip here. I call this the crowbar rear naked choke. It doesn't have to be on the chin. It can be a regular choke here, and it's very strong. If you want me to, I can show you this version in a standalone video, but if you can't get under the chin, you can crush the jaw like Khabib did to Conor. Khamzat actually caved in Whittaker's teeth. So when he did it with this grip, and he caved in Whittaker's teeth because I think they were weak to start with. So it can be done with a regular grip as well. And if you've seen, now this guy is not Dagestani or Chechen. Damien Maia, when he fought Rick Story, come up please. He did a neck crank. It was terrible. Rick Story's, it started bleeding just from the neck crank. It was terrible. And one more important aspect of their game is mat returns. So they try to get the opponent on the ground, they often do, but sometimes the opponent starts standing up. And when he starts standing up, they have to return him to the mat somehow. What they do usually is very simple. I call this the rundown, and it's this. So what they do is they come here close with the thigh, they use the thigh pressure, the shoulder pressure, and they lean forward. And they're on top. It's very important in this suffocating top game for your opponent to always carry your weight. That's very important. He gets tired, I don't get so much tired, but he in time will break. The rundown is best done if he's leaning forward a little bit like this, but even if he gets up like that, I can still do the rundown. I can do the rundown even if he's moving forward. Maybe he wants to get to the cage to escape using the cage, which is easier, but I can follow him and do the rundown nevertheless. Go. Another option is lift and slam. I'm not gonna slam him hard. What you can do is you can go into a same position as the rundown. So I'm at a 90-degree angle with him, and instead of running him down, I lift and then slam him, but I'm not gonna slam him hard. So lift and slam, or rather drop him. It's not like a suplex. I'm lifting and putting him down. It takes more energy to do this, but it's also effective. There are also other options that you can do from the standing back control. I call this the standing back control, like this. If he's really straight, maybe pushing into me like this, I can take him down backwards. It's called Tani Otoshi, or the valley drop in judo. So if he's trying to push like this, I could do this and end up on top. So it all depends on what reaction he gives me, but my go-to move is the rundown. What makes Khabib, Islam and Khamzat so difficult to deal with isn't just one technique, it's a system. They take their opponents down, apply constant pressure and punch. They prevent stand-ups by doing mat returns and force their opponents to carry their weight the entire time. Every time the opponents try to move, they run into more control. Over time, that pressure breaks people mentally and physically. And that's really the essence of the Dagestani style. Not just chasing submissions immediately, but making every second on the ground miserable through pressure, weight distribution and control. The submissions do come as a result of all of that. And one could make an argument that they are the best submission exponents in MMA today, even though that is not their main goal. If you'd like to improve your MMA by working with me, you have the options down in the link below. I'll see you soon.